Hello, Namaskar, and a very good afternoon to all the viewers watching NCRT's live interactive session. This is Simran Singh, and you have all connected with us through eVidya channel number 6 to 12. Besides this, you all know the different mediums through which you can connect with us and watch the live telecast of our different training programs and the general programs that we conduct throughout the day for all of you. And one of the mediums is our YouTube channel, that is NCERT Official. Once again, I would like to take the moment to welcome all our viewers, all the listeners, the learners in our 5 days, 5 hours online training program, and it's the 4th day of our online training program on digital wellness. As we have been discussing for the past 3 days, that digital wellness or the awareness about digital wellness is more important than almost anything in today's technological era or the ever changing world that we are having. And it's not only for the young ones but also for the adults or everyone who is consuming some or the other area in our digital space. Therefore, we are conducting our 5 days online training program. It's the 4th day of the online training program, and in case of queries, you know the different mediums through which you can connect with us. One of them is our contact number flashing on your screens. It is 8800440559, and also you can write to us about your questions at this particular mail ID, that is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. All your questions pertaining to the training program will be addressed and responded to only at this mail ID. So let's quickly have a glance at our computer screens and try and understand more about the areas that we have discussed so far, and also about what we are going to discuss today and day after tomorrow. So let's look at our screens. This is the web page of CIET NCRT. Online training on digital wellness. We started the training program on 2nd of October 2023, and we will be concluding it tomorrow, that is 6th of October 2023. So on the first day of our training program, we discussed about digital wellness, the policy perspectives, the concepts and needs associated with it. The second day of the online training program was all about the dimensions of digital wellness. Yesterday, it was the third day of our training program where we discussed about managing digital addiction. And as I just informed you that it's the 4th day of our online training program where we are going to describe at length about ensuring well-being in digital space. Tomorrow, it's the concluding day or the 5th day of our online training session where we are going to discuss about the role of various stakeholders in promoting digital wellness. Now, once you scroll this web page, there are another details mentioned for you regarding the 5 days online training programs, how you can participate in the post session quiz. All these details will be explained to you in the later segment of this program. As of now, allow me to introduce you with our expert for today's program. In the conversation, we have with us Dr. Smita N. Deshpande, ma'am. Namaskar, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
A very warm welcome to you. And let me also introduce our viewers to you. Ma'am is a professor of psychiatry at St. John's National Academy of Health Sciences from Bangalore. A very warm welcome to you in our today's conversation. So ma'am, as we are going to discuss about ensuring well-being in digital space. So what is it all about? What are the different aspects associated with it? Please inform our viewers more about it.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Simran. And I'd also like to begin by thanking Dr. Angel Ratnabai, NCRT itself, as well as the online series on cyber safety and security, of which this is a part. These days we have smartphones, smart cars, smart boards, smart everything. But consider this. If the technology is getting smarter, does that mean humans are getting dumber? Well, if we don't guard our well-being and we don't guard our physical selves, then we are in danger of becoming dumber as we start becoming slaves of our smart devices, which are actually our digital devices. So many people use the word smart or digital or internet-based interchangeably, and to some extent I will do so today too. So to answer your question, it is extremely important to guard our health, whether it is in the digital space or whether it is in the physical space. And what we will talk about today are different aspects of digital wellness, which are inseparable from physical wellness too, because after all, it's only one and the same person. So first I'll talk about the components of health, then how to overcome the risks of digital use or digital overuse by guarding our health, and finally ensuring our wellness in digital spaces. So what is health? Health really is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being. So you have to be a little further ahead than just being not ill or not having any infirmity or disability. So that means that in spite of your infirmities, in spite of your disease, as long as you have a sense of well being, you can still be termed a healthy person. And these are not my words, they are the words of the World Health Organization, and they have been handed down to us for the last 60, 70 years. At the same time, mental health is an integral component of overall health or holistic health. And so there is no health without mental health. Thus, we need to form a balance between our body, our mind, and our spirit. And you will note that the word digital doesn't have any space in this trio. Nevertheless, it has invaded our lives, and many of us have become slaves to our digital devices. So, how not to be a slave, to still be a human being, and a healthy human being at that, is the aim of our talk today. So, what is mental health? Mental health is a state of well-being in which each individual realizes their own ability. They can cope with the normal stresses of life. They can work productively and fruitfully. And most importantly, they can contribute to the community. So you can see that mental health is not a standalone concept. It has to be integrated or in integration with one's society, one's community, one's values, and one's culture. It has to be integrated at one's workplace, which be it a school or a workplace or a household, where all of which, if we need to work productively and fruitfully, we need to be mentally healthy as well. Mental health is essential for the well-being and functioning of not only of individuals, but we as individuals, members of families, members of our community, and members even of our nation. That is why every year we have some kind of indices of happy nation, happy communities, and so on. Because mental health is essential for every person's well-being on this planet. It is, of course, determined by individual factors, how you feel about yourself. But at the same time, an important component is how much social interaction we have, what are the societal structures and resources that we have access to. A society which is cohesive, which is well-knit, which is supportive of its members, non-pejorative, that is an extremely important background for enhancing the mental health of its members. A society which has resources which are equitably distributed so that nobody goes hungry, nobody is deprived, nobody is stigmatized. That society always fosters mental health. And finally, we have our cultural values in which we value each individual as well as the community and so on. Now, you will note that in all of these, digital devices as yet have not found a place. And that is important because so much of our effort and our lives today are totally involved with our digital devices. Please note also that the mental, physical, and social functioning are interdependent. So if we are not physically well, then we might still have some mental health issues. If we have mental health issues, then physically and socially, we will not conform to the norm. Let us look at this one example. This boy is always online. He remains online because he feels isolated. And he feels isolated because he feels he is no good with people, he is no good at anything at all. Would you say that he is mentally healthy? Does he have mental well-being? I think you'll agree with me when I say that No, he is not mentally healthy. He needs to enhance his mental health game. Please remember always that emotional health is also mental health. Therefore, we need to foster positive emotions. And what are the positive emotions that we need to foster? Those of happiness. Actively seek out, feel happy with the small things of life. Big happinesses come rarely, but the small happinesses are there in everyday activities. A person who has self-esteem, which means that they feel that they are in charge, they have a mastery over the environment, are also they do have good mental health. The other positive emotions are resilience, which is the capacity to cope with adversity. No matter how difficult the circumstances, the person is confident that they will be able to resist them and overcome them. Self-realization is being the best that you can be. We always strive to be harder, to work harder, to be better than we are, and that is self-realization. To be able to exploit our own potentials and have a feeling of autonomy, that we are in charge of our own destiny, that our decisions are our own and cannot be influenced or cannot be determined by somebody else. The ability to identify, confront, and solve problems, as well as, most importantly, a subjective sense of well-being. These are all positive emotions which contribute to mental health, good mental health. And these are the positive emotions that we need to foster in ourselves. As I said before, mental health cannot work in isolation. Social health is also a part of mental health. And how is that? The ability to sustain mutually satisfying and enduring social relationship is definitely a part and parcel of enhancing our own mental health. If we are in a social group which is supportive, which is understanding, which we can count on in our times of adversity, then that significantly contributes to our mental health. I've already talked about social cohesion, that societies which are which stick together, which look after each other, have much better mental health than those which are fragmented, which are destroyed, or which are under very severe disastrous situations because of which they cannot really be together and work together. Our social capital is our networks, our norms, and the social trust that we have in each other. And if we are in a place where there are good, cohesive, real social networks, and I don't mean internet networks, where we have clear-cut social norms which value each individual, and there is a degree of trust because of the rule of the law, that also contributes to positive social health and therefore positive mental health. Finally, we need to feel socially connected. If we do not feel a sense of belongingness to the society in which we live, then we'll always feel alien. And that alienation can lead to severe mental health issues. So this is the definition of mental health, and this is what you need to look out for when you look at or evaluate your own mental health and the mental health of those around you. There are certain aspects of well-being in digital spaces which are a little different from those in physical spaces. So let's look at them under different headings. One is the physical space, which is how to prevent the ill effects of digital use. The social space, how to avoid social isolation because we are too hooked up to our digital devices. Emotional well-being, that means how we can prevent emotional abuse because of our use of digital spaces. The mental thing is rising above ourselves. How can we foster our own mental health by using digital spaces? And finally, holistic health, because ultimately what we are looking at is health in all its glory, in all its aspects for ourselves. So I am sure that you must be aware, or you might have been, you might even have experienced some of the physical ill effects of excessive digital use. One of the most important is an inactive lifestyle. If you are sitting with your phone, or if you are sitting with your digital device, your laptop, your desktop, or any other such device, you are not moving. You are sitting still. You are also being alone. Therefore, what you need to do is to get out, to meet people, to increase your activity levels, to prevent this shut-in lifestyle in which you are shut in with your inactive digital space, with your digital device. Even though there may be people in the digital device, they are not real people who can touch you, who can smile with you, and who can laugh at your jokes. Another dangerous aspect of this type of such shut-in lifestyle is weight gain. You know, weight gain is the biggest enemy of good physical health today, because obesity actually almost equals disease, and this is the non-communicable disease spectrum, which is very difficult to cure. For instance, diabetes, hypertension, or coronary artery disease, or hypercholesterolemia, these are all very intimately correlated to obesity, to weight gain and to obesity. And this is something that is fostered by excessive use of digital spaces, and therefore we need to also get moving, not only to stop our inactive lifestyle, but to also prevent weight gain. Use of digital devices also often leads to sleep disturbances. How? We need to prevent it by stopping our use of digital devices some time before bedtime, maybe a couple of hours, maybe more than that. And we also need to adopt good sleeping practices. What are some of the good sleeping practices? Number one is to keep your digital device away, to sleep in a restful, calm, and dark room, to have definite times for getting to bed and getting up, to have a clear-cut sleep routine so that you can relax a bit, maybe do a little stretching or do a little mild yoga or shavasana sort of thing, so that you are prepared for bed. And then definitely keep your digital devices away from you, otherwise they are liable to cause sleep disturbances. Many of our senses are also adversely affected by our digital device use. One of the most important is eye strain. Because of the brightness of our screens and the blue light that it emits, we can have the computer vision syndrome. We keep staring at our screen and our eyes can become really dry and itchy. So one way of preventing this is looking at a distance and adopting the 20-20-20 rule, which is that every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. That gives our eyes a chance to rest and our tears to bathe the surface of our eyes, and that can prevent the dry eye syndrome as well. Moreover, we need to keep the screen at a specific distance, about 2 feet away from us, so that eye strain is at a minimal. If we keep coming near the screen and stretching our eyes open to look at the screen, that is likely to lead to eye strain. We can also have hearing problems because of constant earphone use and loud noises, and that we can prevent by using our earphones as little as possible. In addition, our muscles, joints, our whole body can become painful and stiff if we just sit in one place for a long time working on our digital device. How can we prevent that? We can prevent that by adopting a good posture, and as I said before, keeping the screen at a proper distance, and in between, while we are looking at the devices, while we are working on our devices, by stretching, relaxing, or moving even our joints and muscles. And I'll demonstrate a little bit about this a little bit down the time. So here is a proper posture which you need to use when you are working digitally. Number one is keep your back straight and the lower back should be supported. The seat should be at an angle so that you don't lean forward, neither do you lean back. Your arms and your legs should be at a right angle. This is the right angle, and your feet should be resting very comfortably on the floor. At the same time, your forearms and wrists should also be resting comfortably on the table or the keyboard, so that the wrists do not become flexed and unduly stretched, thus giving rise to wrist pain. At the same time, the screen should be at a lower level than your eyes. You should not have to look up to the screen. If you look up, there is both neck strain as well as eye strain. Here is another cartoon about the proper posture. You can see the boy on my right is working late at night. He is slouched forward, gazing at the screen as near as possible to it. His wrists are also bent so that he can get to the keyboard. His legs as well are too high up, and his back does not have any support. The boy on the left, however, is working during the day so that there is adequate light and there is no eye strain. Incidentally, you should not work in a dark environment on your screen. He is able to look down upon the screen rather than looking up. He has a straight back and supported limbs. So this is the proper posture that you should adopt when you are working on digital spaces. Plus, you need to have some lifestyle changes. As I said before, try to engage in aerobic activities every day, at least for half an hour, to improve your heart functioning. Not only that, aerobic activity, which brings your heart rate up, also makes you feel good and strengthens your immune response. So, walk, jog, jump, run, move very regularly. Engage in some sports, especially group sports, especially those which are undertaken outside in the open, because that gives you a chance not only to exercise your own muscles, but it also improves your social connectedness. Regular yoga and relaxation, which is a component of yoga, helps a lot in relaxing, not only your relaxing and stretching and strengthening your muscles, but also improves concentration and thinking power. Apart from all this, even during your smallest daily activities, try to be more active than usual. Try to move more. Even while you are sitting at the computer, you can stretch a bit, you can move a bit, you can change your fingers, you can change your position, you can stand, bend, and touch the ground. That itself will help you to stretch your muscles and reduce your muscle strain. Here is a list of desk exercises which you can do while using your digital devices, and being physically fit, making yourself feel happy physically will also make you feel happy mentally. So here's the first one is neck rotation. Just move your neck counterclockwise or clockwise. Try to touch your ear to your shoulder. You can do shoulder rotation both backwards and forwards. You can try to touch your shoulder blades at the back by retracting your shoulders. You can shrug. You can just raise your shoulders a bit, stay still for a few seconds, and then go back down again. You can rotate your wrists either clockwise and anti-clockwise. You can stretch up and stretch down. You can fan your fingers, thus stretching your palms and reducing the strain on your palms. In the same way, you can curl your toes. And try to do this consciously as well as unconsciously while you are using your digital spaces to improve your physical activity and improve your physical fitness. We now come to the social aspect of digital wellness. Prevent isolation. Digital devices are one-to-one. I work with my digital device, and each of my family members works with their own individual device, not with anybody else. That fosters social isolation, aloneness, and it gives you a feeling of maybe pleasure or power, which is a very false feeling, because it's not reflected in our real world and in our real activities. After all, digital is only a part of what we are. So when we work our digital devices, we should be very careful that we should not become isolated. from our social circles, from our family, and from our friends. For that, we need to control digital use. We need to reduce the number of apps to only essential apps. These are some of the ways in which we can control our digital use and therefore our social isolation. The non-essential apps, you do not need them, do not keep them. They will only encourage you to get hooked to your digital device again and again. Most importantly, turn off notifications. All of us are connected to so many groups and so many devices that notifications pop up all the time. Notifications are not only distracting, they prevent us from concentrating on our essential work, but they also are a pull factor. So the moment a notification comes, you feel like, look, oh, let me see who wrote to me or who has sent a notification, what is happening. And before you know it, you have become a slave to your digital device. I've said this already, don't sleep with your phone next to your bed and recognize the triggers of phone use. Very often when we are free, our hand automatically goes to the phone. Or when we are bored, we automatically start screening through our phone or through our laptop. When we are free, we are drawn like a magnet to our digital devices to keep scrolling them and keep moving them and keep clicking them. Don't do that. These are triggers which get you hooked to the screen. If things are still, a little difficult for you, then maybe you can set a goal as to when you can use your smartphone. Set a specific time that this is when I'm going to use my smartphone. The rest of the time I will not use it, no matter what. And even turn off your phone when you don't need it. These are the ways in which you can control your devices rather than having your devices control you. And this will also prevent social isolation because you will have set times for your digital use and for your social interaction.
Minutes left in the conversation. So for any queries, feel free to connect with us and comments in the comment section of NCERT Official. Ma'am, you may continue.
Yeah, thank you. I do expect a few questions and clarifications. Please feel free. We now come to the emotional aspect of mental health. Digital spaces, every day we read in the papers and other places as to how emotional abuse is occurring on digital spaces. Here I'm not talking about financial fraud or other such legal issues. I'm talking about emotional abuse. And we need to prevent emotional abuse. I won't go into the details of what it is, cyberbullying, cyber harassment, cyber stalking, etc., because they will be covered, or they might already have been covered in other talks. Or you can look at other resources to find out how emotional abuse occurs in digital spaces. Here I will be only talking about how you can prevent this emotional abuse from occurring to you and to your near and dear ones. You need to know how to use digital spaces safely. Just as everything else, internet use has its own risks, especially if you keep your internet door open to everybody and to everything. More and more people are connecting. Not all of them have the best of intentions, and therefore educate yourself about the risks of internet use. We educate ourselves about keeping our houses secure. We keep our precious things in a locker. Why should we not keep our own information in a proper locker? Why should we share it with unknown people with unknown intentions? So it is important to set proper privacy settings. Unless you are, a media company who wants as many people as possible to come online on your website, you are not. We are private individuals. Therefore, we should have privacy settings. We should not be open to everybody. We should not be sharing personal information such as phone numbers, our addresses, our emails, our school and college details, or even our photographs, whether they are sensitive, whether they are explicit or not, with anybody, with unknown people. Because with today's progress in the computer sciences, all this information can be used in the wrong way. And we do not want that. We do not want our information or the information of our dear and dear ones to be used inappropriately, and in fact, maybe even harm them in some ways. So it is important not to install or everything that comes to your phone or everything that comes to your device. Do not install any software, any application, any games, etc., which come to you from unknown sources. We get a lot of advertisements saying, click on this device and you will get a reward. Do not click on that. It is mostly that they are trying to mine your own information at the least, and at the worst, they are trying to harm you in some way or take advantage of you in some way. How do we foster our own mental health too? Because internet is here to stay. We cannot get away from the net, and the pandemic more than anything else taught us that we have to be knowledgeable about our internet spaces, and we need to be in control of our internet spaces and know how to use them. Well, how do we foster positive mental health in our digital spaces? Well, we need to develop strategies to improve our overall well-being. We are in charge of our own mental health. We are responsible for improving our health, and we need to do so. How can we do so? By educating ourselves. We need to know what are the mental health challenges that we face in our day-to-day life, and we need to learn how to overcome them. We can learn by asking wiser persons than us, or we can even read these solutions from books, or we can even go to safe digital spaces, and I'll speak about that later. We need to reframe the situation. If there is a situation in which we feel stressed or overwhelmed, or we feel that it is something that is beyond our capacity, we need to reframe it by seeing it in perspective of our entire life, by seeing that problem in relation to all the other problems that we have solved before. And that can help us to reframe the situation and gain control over it. Grounding is a very simple sensory technique to stay connected in the present. If there is too much stress, we tend to go into our imaginary world, or we tend to go into a different plane of consciousness. To prevent that, we can ground ourselves by either rubbing our hands, by clasping our hands, or by looking around us using our senses. Let's say see 5 things, smell 3 things, hear 2 things, feel 1 thing, something like that. That is a grounding technique. And of course, relaxation and meditation are important stress busters, and they promote a sense of calm and well-being. There are specific ways of relaxation. You can also use the popular means of pranayam, shavasana, yog nidra, etc., which are very conducive to a feeling of calmness and relaxation. On the right, you will see a cartoon, which is a stress buster advice from the World Health Organization. It includes grounding. I have already spoken about grounding. Unhooking, which means unhooking from your digital device, because your digital device is likely to give you alarming information, perhaps much more than soothing information. Acting on your values, making room for others. You are not the only person in the world, there are other people, and sharing, moving, and making room for others will also make you feel good. Engaging with other people and being kind to others. Kindness often does not cost anything, and yet it gives rise to a great feeling of well-being. And I keep emphasizing this, we need to build social support. So just as we work at our physical health, just as we will be working at our mental health, we need to work on our social health as well. So we need to provide, that is, give social support as well as receive social support. Many people feel very hesitant. They feel that they are so powerful, they don't need anybody's help. Well, we need everybody's help, and we should give that help to others as well. Do not be hesitant to ask for or offer assistance on any health issue to your family or friends or support network. And then learn problem solving. When we have a good network, we share our problems, we share our issues, and we also share solutions. So we need to systematically identify, analyze, and find solutions to the challenges and issues that we face in our day-to-day life. That we can do alone. Better still, we can do it with the help of our social network. Finally, we come to holistic health. We've spoken about physical health, social health, emotional health, and mental health. These all come together. And when they come together, we still need to strive to a higher level and look for holistic health. How can we use the net to improve our holistic health? We need to use the internet in a positive way, in a constructive way. After all, the net did not come out of a vacuum. It came up out of a need. Somewhere or other, at least for the scientific, the work, the leisure part of it, it fulfills a need. So what can we do? How can we use the internet better for improving our positive health? We can seek and receive collaborations, especially a huge number of scientific and work collaborations have grown because of the internet. We can use the internet for developing new skills. Literally, one can learn anything. One can learn a language from the net. One can learn a new skill like a musical instrument. One can learn a new art form. Even I was amazed to learn that you can even learn classical dance from the internet. So these are the new skills which you can acquire and grow. Internet actually helps in fostering our creativity, self-expression, and out-of-the-box thinking if we use it in a novel and new way, rather than just going with the flow. Internet is useful for problem solving. Many times, what we cannot solve on our own, we can go to our groups and they will solve it for us, or we can just ask or access some of the sites and they will solve it for us. We can access new information as well as develop new skills. We can get access to alternative opinions and options to reduce our burden, to improve our efficiency. And finally, we can use the internet to explore fields that one is passionate about. And that helps us in myriad ways because it develops our personality, it develops our brain, and it helps us to stay mentally active. It is undeniable that there are very good physical and mental health groups and sites, but you need to find the good ones, the reliable ones, and it might be best to go through it with some kind of a tooth comb, just to make sure that you are going to the correct group, or you might need to go through several groups to find which ones are the ones which are constructive, which are helpful, and those which are harmful, which can alienate you from the larger society. Apart from that, there are sites for health promotion and mental health interventions which have been given by very reliable sources, by health ministries, by governments, by very good health groups, but you need to find them. They may not be the first ones which come up when you click on a health group. You need to find them and you need to verify their information before just following it blindly. The internet, in a way, also helps to increase our social connectivity and broaden our social relationship. Because imagine, you, me, any ordinary person on the street can even reach out to the highest official in the land through the internet. We can email Nobel Prize winners. We can email the senior most scientists in the land. We can access knowledge about their work quite easily through the internet, and that will also help our own work and help us also to grow. And finally, of course, last but not the least, is using the internet for entertainment. But let me give you a word of warning. The internet can also become a hook. We become hooked to the internet just like we become hooked to the other internet sites. In addition to that, we need to adopt some practical coping skills. We need to understand the difference between interacting in person and online. We need to behave online exactly as we would behave in real life. We do not exchange our entire personal information with a person sitting next to us on the bus or a person whom we are passing on the pavement. Why should we do that on the internet? We should not. We need to use social media responsibly ourselves, not only help others to use it more responsibility. We need to develop our digital resilience so that we need to feel in charge of the net rather than the other way around, build our coping skills, strengthen our support network, and develop proactive coping strategy, which means that we learn how to deal with a problem even before it has arisen, which means block unwanted contacts, do not share private information, and develop as many digital safeguards as possible. Here are some 9 ways to manage stress. The simplest thing is go out. Spend some time with nature. Go out on your balcony, go out on your roof, go out into the park and commune with nature. Do your exercises, do yoga. That helps a lot. Say your prayers if you are a prayer person, otherwise meditate. Spend some time with friends and manage your time. If you are hooked on the net all the time, how are you going to manage any life skills and any social interaction? And grow a hobby apart from merely surfing the net. So maybe start some art or read some books. And most importantly, think positively at all points. That will help your mental health. Here are some standard operating procedures to tackle a digital crisis. In spite of everything, sometimes, we trustfully negotiate. Sometimes we are stalked. Sometimes we have some cyber harassment. Sometimes our name is spoiled on the net. What do we do in such places? We should inform our entire social network. All of us have received those phishing emails saying that, my email, I am stranded in some foreign location, please send me money. What do we do in these type of situations? Share information with your family, friends, elders, somebody wise, with your teachers or a trusted adults, so that you get the benefit of their experience. Immediately disable your geolocation and GPS setting. Set up privacy settings. This is the 3rd time I am saying this. Gather information and document evidence such as saving messages and threatening calls, etc., because you might need them as evidence later on. Immediately stop communicating. If there is a person you feel is threatening you or harassing you or treating you in a bad way, do not respond to them but save their messages. Unfriend, unfollow or block them because they make you feel unsafe. And as soon as possible, report the incident to the concerned authorities. Even after all this, if you need to consult an expert, when is it that you should do so? When a person around you, in your social circle, when you feel yourself you're doing this, you are withdrawing from people and things, it is time to consult an expert. If somebody near you find that they are spending excessive time online, they prefer the screen to the people, they complain of low energy, unexplained aches and pains, or they have a marked change. They say stay awake all night, they stop eating, their daily hygiene habits also start deteriorating. They express feelings of helplessness or hopelessness. I can't do this. Life is not worth living. Or they complain of difficulty in concentration. By the way, the screen does not encourage concentration. It reduces concentration because messages come so quickly. So that is another evidence that they are becoming hooked to their devices. If they show aggressive or irritable behavior without any cause, or there is a drop in their academic or work performance, They have frequent conflicts and arguments with friends and families, or they may start high risk behavior, such as using tobacco, smoking, drinking, or drug use or misuse, or they start, most alarmingly, harming either others or themselves, or they express some suicidal ideation or even have an attempt, then it is time to consult an expert. Do not waste time, go earlier rather than later. And here, who is it that you can consult? I am grading them one by one. The first, of course, is your social circle. I've already spoken about that. And you might feel less inhibited when talking to your social circle than outside it. Talk to an authority figure. They might be able to guide you. They might have more experience, they might have more knowledge, and they might be able to help you better. Talk to your knowledgeable family and friends. Very often, youngsters are more aware of digital dangers than old people. In spite of that, if you feel your health issues, especially your mental health issues, are not going away, you can start either with your general practitioner or a mental health professional, such as a psychiatrist, clinical psychologist, or a psychiatric social worker, who will be able to not only help you, but guide you in the right direction as required. And at the last resort, there is always the police. If there is cyber harassment, or if you feel that somebody is deliberately spreading misinformation or misguiding people, then police may be the best person to do. In summary, have a healthy balance of digital and practical. That is the best way to live, and that is the best way to improve both your physical as well as mental health. Maintain healthy habits at all times, even while using your digital devices. Use safe internet practices, and consult a higher authority if you are in trouble. Thank you again for patient listening. And I hope you do have some questions.
Of course, ma'am. We do have certain questions for you. We have still 8 minutes left, so we might take few questions from our viewers. First, in the first place, thank you so much for connecting with us, sharing these insights with all our viewers. And I am sure that this will turn out to be really beneficial. So, let's quickly take few queries from the viewers. One of our viewer, Jyoshna Dasri, says, nowadays we use mobile phones for almost everything, be it digital transactions, to call someone, to study, we surf Google or different web browsers, and at the same time there's a lot attached to mobile phones. Now, how to go back?
I have already spoken to you about it. You need to be in charge of your digital device. Your digital device should not be in charge of you. So having alternatives, having real life friends, social circle, real life appointments, timings, real life fun activities, these are the things that you need to do, so that you don't become a slave to your digital device. And that goes not only for, like a phone, which is practically always with us, but it can go as well for any other digital device. Similar coping mechanisms have to be taken everywhere. And at all times, remember, you are the one in charge, not your digital device. The moment your digital device gets in charge, then you are becoming addicted.
Thank you for sharing that important piece of advice. I am sure the viewers will be able to keep that in mind. And let's take one more question. Now, this question might be from a youngster. Now, there's a constant urge of getting more likes or comments on our social media post, which you might relate to, or even I can relate to. Now, is there any psyche behind that, or how can we withdraw any sort of feeling that we feel? How can I stop worrying about whether people are liking me or not on social media?
Well, I spoke about mental health, right? What were the aspects of mental health? Let me go back to that slide. So, a mentally healthy person is somebody who realizes their own ability. So a feeling of self-esteem that I am what I am, but I'm not a bad person. The place which I am at is where I was meant to be. If you have that feeling of self-esteem and self-realization, then whether it is one appreciation or one like and whether it's 1,000 like, it's not going to be making a much of a difference to you. After all, you are not seeking votes. You are putting out your own opinion or your own picture on the Instagram. People who appreciate you will get back to you no matter what. For the others, their opinion doesn't really matter. So that is the type of self-confident place that you need to work for.
So we need to choose the right ones, or maybe who are right for us.
Yes,
Thank
people
you.
who are important
Yes.
to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, once
The ones
again.
who appreciate you, if they appreciate you, that appreciation is worth 1,000 other likes and dislikes.
Alright, so with that I would like to inform you that a lot of viewers are appreciating you in the comment section of NCERT official for these wonderful insights that you have shared with us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Let me again inform our viewers that it's the 4th day of our online training program on digital wellness, and as promised, let's quickly have a look at our screens to understand more about the web page of CIT NCERT and this online training program. Now all you have to do is type ciet.nic.in, and this is the home page of the website where you will land upon. Just click on events. Under events it is workshop/training. So when you click on workshop/training, the three kind of activities displayed in front of you. For this particular activity, it is the current activity, online training on digital wellness. Just click on this, you will land on this page. Now all the details regarding the 5 days training programs are mentioned for you, whether it's the days, the dates, the schedules. The objectives are quite clear to make you more aware about the digital space, the digital wellness, that's the need of the hour, and this particular information is with regard to the post session activity and the quiz that we have for all of you. Tomorrow we will be uploading the quiz link. The students, teachers, teacher educators, parents, administrators, general public, everyone can participate in our online quiz in our post session activity. The detailed program schedule for all of you. In case if you have missed watching the live telecast for any reason, then do not worry, because all the video links, all the presentations, they have been uploaded for you, and for the 4th day we will be uploading the video link soon. And viewers, tomorrow we are going to discuss about the role of various stakeholders in promoting digital wellness. So let's scroll down, and certain steps are laid down for you, particularly for the post session activity and its awareness. Now step number 1 is registration. You can register yourself by clicking on this link or by scanning this QR code. Now once you watch the live training program, there are different mediums through which you can connect with us. Either NCERT official, that is our YouTube channel, eVidya channels, along with certain other mediums that are mentioned here, or you can also click on the video links and you will be navigated to the web page, to the video that you want to watch for any particular day. Now participation in the post session activity and certification. You can participate in the post session quiz and score 70% and above to receive a certificate. The opening date of the assessment, that is the quiz, will be uploaded by 6 p.m. tomorrow, and the closing date by which you can submit your answers, your entries with us, that is 27th of October 2023 by 6 p.m. An important area to note is participants are allowed to attempt the quiz only once. So be very thoughtful about it, and those scoring 70% and above in the quiz will receive a certificate of participation on their registered email ID within 30 days of taking the post session quiz. Now registered email ID, step number 1 is registration itself. So viewers, let's scroll down, and you all know that we keep on saying this, that your feedback matters a lot. It is really essential to us. So keep on writing to us, and at the same time you can submit this feedback form by filling it up or by scanning the QR code. For any queries regarding the training program, feel free to connect with us at training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in, or you can give us a call at our contact number, that is 8800440559. Once again, it was the 4th day of our online training program. We are about to wrap this conversation, but do not go anywhere. There is an important piece of information for all of you regarding the availability of NCERT textbooks. So NCERT textbooks for the academic year 2023 to 2024, they are available widely all across the country, and you may purchase them from the different sales counters of NCERT. The name of the states are mentioned in the link flashing on your screens. Also viewers, you may place an order online through the website link. Again, it's right there on your screens, and in case if you would like to download these particular textbooks in the PDF or the soft copy version, that is also possible through Diksha platform, ePathshala website, NCERT's official mobile application. Also, to explore more about authorized vendors and the availability of different books for different classes and subjects, feel free to scroll the website of NCERT. That would be www.ncert.nic.in. Once again, thanking all of you for connecting with us in the 4th day of our online training program on digital wellness, and we have our next program from 5 till 5:30 p.m. It is Sahyog, where we try to provide guidance for mental well-being and psychosocial support to all the students, all the viewers, the listeners who keep on connecting with us for the diverse sessions. And tomorrow it's the 5th day of our online training program, so do not forget to connect with us through NCERT official. At the same time, we are going to discuss more about the role of various stakeholders in promoting digital wellness. We will be right back within few minutes, so stay tuned with NCERT official. Namaskar.